Do you know what?
He wasn't a happy bunny.
Yeah, he wasn't happy. He didn't think it was too complimentary. I've actually said that West Ham are my guilty pleasure, actually. I enjoy watching West Ham. I think they've been brilliant. The problem West Ham come up against tonight is, after a minute, they're 1-0 down. And that's hard, because what that does, it does a number of things to everyone in the stadium. The fans, West Ham, who have gone there full of hope, full of the aspirations what tonight can bring, and all of a sudden the balloon has been let down. The Frankfurt fans are live, they're kicking. And on the pitch, the West Ham players who have gone out there, well, they'd have said, it's like in the dressing room for you, come on, lads, let's get a good start, right? With less than a minute, they're 1-0 down. So they've got to drag themselves up from a situation where they find themselves 1-0 down. Yeah. Not only that, the biggest game in a generation nearly, and the Frankfurt fans are up, the players are up. That's hard to come back from. Yeah. That's a real tough scenario. And credit to West Ham, they got themselves back into the game. It took a while. Frankfurt are clearly a very good side, especially going forward. I think they're excellent, and they might have got away with a 3-1 victory on another day. But credit to West Ham, because the tie is still alive.
Oh, massively!
It's still alive,
massively.
And it may well have been 2-2 on the night. Bowen's overhead kick.
I remember speaking to Kevin Hatchard last night, Jason, and he said Frankfurt are the team that are really good away from home. He said it wouldn't surprise me if they win this game and West Ham go and win it in Germany. Yeah,
but when you're 1-0 down in less than a minute in a game of this size, that's hard. And the whole day, can you imagine what the fans are like? It's like as a player going into a game, and a huge game at the night, 1 minute in, you're 1-0 down. That's tough to come back from. You're deflated. So credit to West Ham, because they got themselves back into the game.
All right, let's go to Chris, who's a Leicester fan. Chris.
Yeah, how you doing, lads? All right?
Yeah, Chris. Look, talk me through the game. We had our heads so fixed on West Ham and Rangers and Manchester United. You know, the Conference League hasn't been the one we've been really watching. But talk me through it. How was it? How had Leicester played?
Well, Mourinho hasn't improved since he left England, because Roma are shocking.
Really?
For a start. They were a poor side, to be honest with you. And we should have walked away with a much better result than that tonight, definitely. It was a difficult watch at the start. They've broken through once and they've scored. And then we've had to get our heads up and sort it out. But unfortunately, Vardy and Albrighton just not in the game tonight. Felt a little bit like we were seeing the end of Vardy tonight. It was a bit sad for me. They're both heroes of ours.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Chris? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. It just, for me, start with Albright, and he just, bless him, as I say, love him to death. He's been a servant of the club, but tonight, just not right from the start. And I felt Rodgers had to be ruthless earlier on with him, because Pereira was having to cover for him. That affected his game. And Vardy just wasn't in the game, didn't know whether to go deep, didn't know whether to have a crack at the defenders. And they both got hauled off, and the game completely changed. We started mixing it up. The lads looked more lively, more sharp. They started playing better football, and we got the goal. But we should have been 2-3 goals to the better coming away from that. Definitely, they're not a good side, right?
But the injury, surely the injury, Chris, that is still a problem, isn't it? So Vardy, he's probably played Vardy and started him earlier than he wanted to. So when you say it's the end of Vardy. It does feel a little unfair.
No, that's not fair. Yeah, true. Probably a bit of an overstatement. But, you're probably right. On reflection, he needs a couple more games. But I would have thought Rodgers, with his experience, if he wasn't quite right, he wasn't quite match fit, sharp, he would have not put him on at the start.
I know, but what do you do in a game of this size, though?
It's a massive game.
Chris, this is the problem, right? This is what Pochettino had the same problem with Kane in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
What do you do? This is enormous for Leicester. And what he's done there, so whatever you think of Vardy's performance or whatever, he's got minutes under his belt going into next week. So this is not the worst. Mm-hmm. If he hadn't started him tonight, when does he start him?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you've got a point, but I just feel... What are you saying, son?
When he's back to fitness.
Yeah,
Who's that?
True.
Who's that? When?
Who's that? Chris, is that your son?
Who's that?
That's my lad. My lad, Ollie.
Yeah.
How old's Ollie?
But he's 12.
Can we speak to Ollie? Ollie sounds like he knows what he's talking
Of course
about.
you can.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right, Ollie.
He does know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Good, Ollie. Good. Come on. So, what's your take on Vardy?
Well, I think you can't like rush a player in. Like you play him on the week. What happened with him last time? He got injured. Rodgers puts him into the side again. I generally think the way he holds the ball up. He's just,
Chris, do you play football?
again-
Chris, Ollie, do you play football?
No, I'm awful.
Does
I'm
Ollie
awful
play football? Is he in
He's
a
much better
Sunday
than me.
team? What's he doing? Is he playing?
Yeah, he plays a little bit.
So Ollie,
Local
here's a
club.
scenario for you, right? Your Sunday league, your cup final, the biggest game of the season for you and the boys. The best player, the captain, I don't know who that is, gets injured the week before.
It's
But he says-
Ollie. It's all right,
It's
Ollie
Ollie.
here. It's all right,
It's
Ollie
Ollie.
here.
Ollie's injured. The cup final. The gaffer says to you, I know you're not 100%. You might be 75%, Ollie, but I want to put you out there. Are you telling me that you're going to say, no, I'm not fit, gaffer?
Oh, yeah. Listen, fair point, but I think he's left it too long tonight. He's just left it too long to make those changes. For me, it was the rule early, and he left it too long. He should have changed it up just a little bit earlier. But
right.
don't get me wrong, they're heroes, and we've enjoyed it. We're back in it. We'll go to Roma
Right.
and we'll spank them.
All right, Chris, Ollie, well done. Thanks for calling in. Let's go to Ryan, who's a West Ham fan. Ryan.
Hi, boys. How you doing?
I'm good,
Right,
Ryan. You was at the game. Talk me through the atmosphere
Yeah, I was,
first and foremost, because it looked electric.
Atmosphere was electric, mate. Like, I was at the Tyson Fury fight on Saturday, and I thought that was banging. But at the start of this football game, it was definitely something that I loved. It's just what we want as a West Ham fan. We want that every year. But that game, it was just, I don't know. I think that first goal really just took the stuffing out of it. Like 55 seconds, it really must knock you for six.
Yeah. I mean, Jace makes a really good point. You know, when we've played the game, and when you do concede something early, after all that build-up, all that weeks build-up, after resting players, going into it, and then 50 seconds in, you go 1-0 down. I mean, it hurts. That does hurt. They've done well to come back from it.
Yeah, and I think the positives we've got to take from it, like we hit the post twice and the bar once. That Bowen chance at the end.
Oh.
Mate, I was on level 2, mate, and I nearly landed in level 1. I was just jumping over that would have been up there with one of the best goals I think I've seen, apart from the Andy Carroll over it.
Yeah, look, Ryan, when you get to this stage
We
of
haven't
the
seen
competition...
O'Hara at Billericay Enfield. You ain't seen that overhead? No, you ain't seen that?
No,
It's
mate.
up there.
Right, Ryan, when you get to this stage of a major cup competition like the size of this, no one's going to give it to you. And Frankfurt have made West Ham work, even to get a 2-1. Right? They're a good side. They showed it tonight. But I felt West Ham showed they're a good side as well. That could have been 2-2 tonight, right? That could have been.
Yeah.
And do you know what? It didn't quite happen. I can only imagine how you must feel, because the next goal in the game, if Frankfurt are to get it, all of a sudden you do feel, right, this is now mounted. If West Ham get it, we're talking the tyre's back on.
Yeah.
It's back on. So, look, I still feel West Ham can get through at the final. I generally do. Yeah, what I've seen.
But I've got to give a lot of credit. And I thought how Frankfurt are ninth. I thought they played some great football.
Yeah,
Yeah.
decent team.
I really did.
I agree with that.
That number 15. I don't know who he is, but I thought he was exceptional.
Yeah.
But-
Kamada, his name is.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we've got a lot of work to do. I think we need to. I think Arsenal game. I think play the kids. I think we've got to put our heads in that basket now.
You have to. Well,
I think
Frankfurt have done the same, right? I think in the last couple of weeks they've been playing a really weakened side, so West Ham have to do the same thing. Ryan, thanks for your call. Let's go to Matt, who's a West Ham fan. Matt.
Hello, boys. Listen, Jay just got that spot on. That we're in this tie. We're going to go there. We've got something. We had the chances, and unfortunately, we didn't take them. But you've got to be positive, because we're in the Europa League semi-final. It's not given to us. It's hard. It's a tough place to be. So let's go to Frankfurt and let's win. Because we go.
Matt, was there anything that you were disappointed though in terms of the lineup or players' performances, or just maybe little tactical changes that he thinks he can change for next week that will improve the team?
No, do you know what? No, I think Ben Rama come on, changed it up a little bit. I don't think Moyes got anything wrong. I thought Frankfurt were a good team, but very beatable. I think it's a different game for them. Put it like this, if it was 2-2 or we won 1-0, it's, almost, it's like a blessing in disguise. You go there with a 1-0 win, how do we play? Because we're useless at sitting back. So, actually, we got to go out there, we got to win. We know what we got to do. We don't versus Seville, it was the opposite way round. But we lost the first leg 1-0. We knew we had to come back, we had to win. Now we go there, we have to win, let's do it.
You know what you've got to do? It's a great point, actually. West Ham know what they've got to do. This is their whole season now, right? Their whole season is in one game. And we thought that a couple of weeks ago when West Ham had to travel away. Who did they play? They beat, was it Lyon? They beat Lyon,
yeah,
right?
Lyon, yeah.
Right? Exactly the same scenario. Almost identical.
Yep.
West Ham have got to go away from home and win this game, right? And they did it. And they did it with aplomb. They were brilliant on the night. There is no way that West Ham will not approach the same game with the same attitude. I'm not so sure he'll change much, David Moyes.
Formation?
I don't know whether he will. I don't know whether he should either, because look, Frankfurt have their formation. They've got their three, and they play the way they did. I felt there were chances for West Ham tonight. On another day, West Ham come away with that with a draw, right? I don't think West Ham deserved to win. The best they could have got was a draw, and it wouldn't have been the biggest surprise in the world if they had. There's no reason why West Ham can't go away, put their whole season behind one 90-minute game and come away with a result. Honestly, I genuinely believe that.
Okay, let's go to Stephen, who's a Rangers fan. Stephen? Steve?
Steve-O?
Steve?
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 Steve? Stephen?
Steve?
Stephen? Steve?
What's he doing?
Steve? I can hear you breathing, Steve. He's having a shave now.
What's he doing? He's brushing his teeth.
Stephen?
Steve? Steve?
What do you mean, hello? What do you mean, hello, Steve? What are you doing?
The boy never told me I was through.
What were you doing?
I'll brush my teeth,
Amazing.
Steve, you're on.
Amazing.
No, I just wanted to say, we're still in this. We're still in it. We struggle.
Hold on. What toothpaste do you use, Steve? What's your toothpaste of choice? Colgate? Colgate, man?
No, this is Sensodyne Pro Enamel, actually.
Is it?
Very good, yeah.
Oh, clearly you've got excellent teeth there. Is it sensitive?
All really bad teeth.
Is it for sensitive teeth or is it for normal teeth?
I don't know. I don't buy it. I just use whatever's there.
Stick it on your brush. Bit of Listerine afterwards, Steve, to freshen the breath afterwards or not?
Get out with a drink.
Okay.
No, we're still in it. We missed the striker tonight, but back at Ibrox next week. Hopefully a couple of players back. I fancy us, big time fancy us.
Yeah, I saw the result. We watched the last 10 minutes of it, and you look at the sucker punch that you got really from Leipzig, but you defended well. Just looked like you just lacked a bit of cutting edge. But hopefully you'll have that when you get back home. Yeah,
hopefully it was Ruth. I think Ruth and Ramsey might be back for the second leg. So a wee bit before the game, you take a 1-0 back to Ibrox, but 5 minutes to go. It's a bit disappointing. But
yeah.
Back to Ibrox next week. Hopefully we can.
Steve? What's the atmosphere going to be like there next week? I'd love to be there.
Well, can you go to your pal Ali and get your ticket, no?
No, Ali, we don't. We fell out. Me and Ali. He never gets me anything.
Well, don't blame him, to be honest with you. But no, we're still in it, and I think that's before the game. That's all you can really ask, eh?
Yeah, honestly, again, I think what you've got to do when you go away from home, especially kind of being a bit of an underdog, and I think it's fair to say Rangers were, what you want to do is come back at home and make sure the tie is still alive.
Well, exactly.
And it's a killer. The time the goal goes in, 5 minutes from time
doesn't really give you a chance to react.
It's a wounder. It is. It's hard. It deflates. But when the dust settles and Rangers get back, and you yourself, Steve, can kind of see it. Next week, it's only 1-0. You're 1-0 down. West Ham were 1-0 down tonight within a minute.
Yeah.
Right? So you go to that game almost the same way, but knowing you can't... Look, don't want to concede the first goal. Of course you don't. But Both ties are alive.
Yeah, and you know as well, Steve, as you look at it, you go, right, before, maybe last year when you had the away goal rule, you lose 1-0 away from home and then you come back and it's nervous already because you're thinking, we ain't scored.
It's a killer.
Leipzig have only got to get 1 and then we've got to get 2 or 3. You know, so, but now, you ain't got that. You come back, all right, we're losing 1-0, bosh, we get our early doors, we get into them, and it can change really quickly.
No, exactly, I agree with you. That's exactly it. We've got to just... By the time, anything can happen. There's 55,000 behind us, so I fancy. And why no? I mean, we've got this far. Why no? It's there for us. Leipzig were decent enough, but if we do what we can do, then we can definitely turn it around.
Are you going, Steve, next week? Will you be there?
I'll be there next week.
Listen, make sure when you get there, Steve, before you leave, make sure you floss your teeth, brush your teeth, a little bit Listerine. No. Freshen the breath.
I'll take my floss with me in that to half time.
There you go. Get rid of the burger and all that sort of stuff out your teeth. It's not a good look.